Good morning, Keller Williams, and welcome back to 66 Conversations with MAPS Coaches. This morning, I am here with MAPS Coach Heather Lamb. Heather, how are you this morning?
I'm amazing. Thanks for inviting me to be a part of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for being here. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what you're doing with MAPS Coaching right now?
Okay, absolutely. So I'm Heather Lamb. I'm originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's where I ran my biggest piece of the business. I've, in the last couple of years, moved to Florida, and we are in the process of running two different market centers, one in Inglewood and one in Lakewood Ranch in Sarasota. And so that's what we do as during the day. In terms of coaching, most of my coaching clients are going to be on the senior side. I do mostly rainmakers. They're doing 500,000 and above. Why is that important? It's because most of them are the lead agent, like the lead listing agent across the board. So that's kind of my experience. I've been with MAP since December of 2016.
Nice. And the lead listing agent ties in greatly to the objection that we're kind of talking about today, the conversation or dialogue around sellers saying now might not be the best time to sell. When you're coaching those clients, those lead listing agents and megas that are hearing that from their sellers, what are you coaching them as far as potential responses or conversations they might be having with sellers that can get them off the fence and actually into selling?
Well, and we're actually hearing this a lot right now because we had a lot of people just kind of go on pause the last couple of months, like waiting to see what's going on. And I always take it back to Gary Keller, right? Like, who better to tell us what to do than Gary?
Right.
And his quote was, when we were having this conversation as coaches with him, he said, what he wants us to tell the sellers is, are you willing to ride this to the bottom? Well, what he meant by that was, we know that we're in a recession. It was actually as of yesterday, by the way, that we officially went into the recession. And so we know that a recession means we're going to be going down on the bell curve of where we are in terms of our real estate. And so are you willing, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, to ride it all the way down to the bottom? Oh, and by the way, you're going to have to ride it back up just to get to where we are today. And historically, that's 3 to 5 years. So when we're having the conversation with them, I'm having that as start with that and then go back to what is their true motivation for wanting to sell. And don't just ask them one question and snorkel on it. Truly scuba dive really, really deep. So, why is it they're wanting? What is important to them about that? Who else does it impact? And I think if we're asking those questions and we're really getting to know their motivation, we can actually get them on the fence and take the pain away from maybe the higher interest rate and losing on that now to let's get the highest sale. Oh, and we still have a really good interest rate. We're still in a neutral market at, in the 5s and 6s in the interest rate.
What a powerful quote, right? Are you willing to ride this all the way to the bottom? Like, I have that mental image of the roller coaster, right? Knowing that, yes, what
exactly
goes down must come up, but that dip in the middle isn't so much fun. It's fun when you're kind of, but coming down.
Well, and I don't think they realize that it's not just getting to the bottom. They have to ride it back up too, just to get where you are today. Like, it's no different. And one of the other really amazing quotes that actually one of my clients shared with me is, marry the house, but only date the interest rate. Yeah. I thought that was super phenomenal, because just because they have a high interest rate when they buy the house doesn't mean they can't refi or get a lower interest rate later. So I thought that's another good quote to use in the scripting.
A fantastic point. We just think about how many refis happened over the last 2 years when the rates did go down, right? And that was people coming from 5% to 3%. If you do end up with whatever it may be, right, 6, 7, 8, doesn't mean that you're stuck there forever, right? So another great 100%. Nugget. Yeah. Maybe the house, date the rate.
Yeah, and I love that. I thought that was great. And like I said, my client shared that with me. The other really great thing that, like as we're talking about it, is Gary's like, the wealth, if you're talking about building your wealth long term, people who actually own a house have a much higher net worth than people who are renting. So if you're having the conversations with people that are renting, really let them, really help them decide, can they buy a house now? And, it's okay that it's 5, 6 interest rate. Like, that's not a big deal. Let's just get you in house and start building your net worth.
All amazing points. Heather, thank you so much for being a part of 66 Conversation with MAPS Coaches. We definitely appreciate it. Guys, hopefully you were writing it down, right? A lot of nuggets dropped around getting sellers off the fence. now is the right time to sell, and some great topics. So join us tomorrow for a new Maps Coach and a new conversation. We'll look forward to seeing you then, and until then, all our best.
Bye.